Now, this is just a small part about how these intrusive thoughts come up and why are we given warning signals about these thoughts. So many of you, while I was discussing the previous slide, might have started thinking, okay, so you're telling me that these thoughts are not important, then why is our brain signaling us to consider these thoughts, or why are these thoughts suddenly coming to our mind? Now, our brain has many sections, many parts, but we'll be discussing about three of them here. That is the thalamus, cortex, and the amygdala. Now, the thalamus is the organ or is the part of the brain which is giving information to explain in simple words. Now, the channel from thalamus to amygdala, as you can see, is a straight channel. So, information immediately goes from thalamus to amygdala. Now, if you have heard about research studies, you would know that amygdala has a role in regulating our emotions. It also has a role in understanding fear, associating with fear with other things, etc. Now, the cortex is the thinking part of our brain. So, for the information from thalamus to go to the cortex and then come to the amygdala, takes just half a second later, or even lesser than the straight road which we have given below. But by the time the information from the cortex arrives at the amygdala, the thalamus would have done its job in sending it directly to the amygdala, and the amygdala is giving you a fear signal, giving you a warning. Okay, this thought's coming up, you have to do something. And you can also kind of relate to how the thought from the cortex could be represented by your false comfort, where your false comfort starts saying, see, look at it in this way, or your wise mind when it says, why don't you sit back and think, why did this thought come? Or do not engage in the thought at all. So, this is a simple process as to why we might be getting intrusive thoughts quicker than we expect, or why we might have the worry and fear attached to the intrusive thoughts. Now, after talking so much about intrusive thoughts, many of us might feel that, okay, the moment we start sensing that something like this is happening to us, all of us do a lot of research. Now, with loads of search engines, we all know where to go. Maybe some of us have read self-help books, watched videos, etc. But something is stopping us from changing our intrusive thoughts or not working on our intrusive thoughts. So the first thing is our sticky mind. Now, what happens is excessive stressors or extreme physical fatigue can make our mind extremely sticky to things, and our mind might not be letting these thoughts pass and might also be considering them important, giving them more regard than they actually require. Then we have the paradoxical effort. Remember the white rabbit example that we discussed? So, paradoxical effort is because you're trying so hard to stop the thought keeps coming back to you. To give an example to this, let's say you have a bathtub in your house. Now, you watch some movie where the bathtub is covered in blood, and the moment you drop yourself into the bathtub, you start feeling, oh, how nice it would be if I was covered in blood right now after killing somebody. And then every time, every single day, you want to go into your bathtub to take a bath, to take a relaxing shower, you start getting anxious and like, today I'm going to make sure that this thought doesn't come back to my mind again. And this extra effort is what's stopping you from not letting go of your intrusive thoughts because you're somewhere reminding yourself of them again. The third part is entanglement. Now, when the thought comes to your mind and it passes, there's no engagement between you and the thought. But the moment your false comfort voice pops in, you realize that you've started engaging with the thought. Now, when you know that this thought is unwanted and uncontrollable, and you start engaging, the thing is that we start giving it more importance than it is actually required. Now, many of us might feel it does not happen consciously that way. Like, I'm not focusing on getting engaged with this thought, but I'm just naturally worried. Why is this thought coming to me? But again, not entangling also comes with practice, which we'll be learning about soon. But these are the three things which could probably be stopping us from overcoming our intrusive thoughts. Before we move on to our next slides, which are mostly comprising of certain techniques or strategies to overcome our intrusive thoughts, we'll discuss about how some strategies can be ineffective. Now, many say that reassuring ourselves about what's happening, or this is not going to happen to us, we do not have to worry, is going to help. Or sometimes we also start seeking reassurance from the people outside us. That is, once your false comfort gives up, okay, I can't tell you anymore that this is not going to happen, maybe you start asking other people. Now, for example, let's say you have a bad stomach ache. Now, your false comfort stays, maybe it's acidity or maybe it's something else. You do not have to worry much. Probably drink some water, or if you that badly want, go to a doctor. But you do not want to do that. Instead, what you do is start seeking reassurance from your family members. You go to your mother, ask her, I'm getting a bad stomach ache. Do you think it could be ulcers? Do you think it could be kidney stones? And you then go to your dad, you go to your grandmother. So you keep asking for reassurance. And there are certain other ways too. So some people might say meditation is going to help, praying is going to help, exercise is going to help. Yes, all these help in regulating our thoughts, but not overcoming intrusive thoughts completely. But let's say I'm praying, and in the prayer hall or in the temple, or whichever the place of praying is, I get a sudden intrusive thoughts about what if I run away from this place while everybody is doing the prayers? It's going to be such fun. And then you start scolding yourself, start worrying again, okay, maybe I'm a very non religious person, or maybe God's upset with me now, or what am I going to do? I've like earned the wrath of demons, or something like that. So the thought loop keeps going on and on and on. And that is why these strategies, though many of us might have tried, wouldn't have helped us long term, because intrusive thoughts can pop up anytime. Because a strategy so long has been wrong, which we'll be understanding in the next slide.